Government ministers in Victoria will no longer have to acknowledge traditional Aboriginal landowners at official events. Premier Ted Baillieu says the compulsory acknowledgement is too politically correct. The directive comes a week before National Sorry Day. The former Brumby government made the acknowledgement mandatory for MPs at all public events, but the coalition says politicians should be free to decide if they use the introduction. The decision has provoked a critical response from the state's Indigenous community. Auntie Joy Murphy is an elder from the Wurundjeri people.
Well, I think it's taken me aback a little bit. I think perhaps in retrospect, it's not something that we thought would ever happen at this time. We thought that our community, I think, believed that there was a very good progress towards reconciliation and to close the gap, the needs of our people in health and education and employment.
Ted Baillieu's argument is that making the welcome mandatory devalues its meaning, or the acknowledgement mandatory rather, devalues its meaning. But if ministers and MPs freely acknowledge traditional owners, then that has a more powerful message if it's freely and voluntarily done. What do you think?
Well, I think government are there for a purpose. They're there to represent community and be inclusive of community. I know that we're all here present on country, but our people have been on this country for thousands of years, and at the very least that has to be respected. And I would feel that appropriate acknowledgement is the way to do that.
And just to be clear, this protocol applies to acknowledgement of traditional Aboriginal landowners and not welcome to country ceremonies which are conducted by Aboriginal elders and people from the lands. What does it mean to you, Auntie Joy, and to your people when you hear a traditional welcome?
Well, for me it's about belonging. For so long our people have, and still today, because of colonisation powers, don't know their belonging. A lot of our people may never know who they belong to. So the importance is not only about welcoming you to a particular country and knowing whose country it is, it's embodying all those that don't have country.
And it's a week before National Sorry Day. What do you make of the timing?
Yeah, look, it's probably a little bit sad. I can't understand their reasoning. I think, government really needs to think about when they make these statements. Perhaps it is of no relevance to them, but I would have thought so and I would have hoped so. But look, I think too also what we need to do is just say to the Premier and his ministers, they're there for us. We're all taxpayers as well, and I just hope that, in hindsight, they can each of them will acknowledge the First Peoples of this country.
Auntie Joy Murphy, thank you.
Thank you.